Yeah.
Hi there, welcome back to a new chatty video.
Yes, go on after you.
I was going to say, we had quite a few questions recently about tips for first timers. It's such a good question, but not only for those that maybe are going for their first time, but maybe for those that have maybe been once or twice, because I think there's always things we learn. We learn every single trip, don't we?
Or haven't been for a while.
Yep, that's very true as well. Things change.
So I think if you watched our video, was it last week when we did some of the Q&As? There are a couple of questions that we said we're going to do a separate video for, so this is one of them.
Yeah, it's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would you agree, every single time we go, we learn something new?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I would, and we're always learning from other people as well, so feel free to add your comments down below. Say what you, or say a tip that you would give somebody else, because we all learn from one another, don't we?
I've just thought of another one that you haven't got on your list,
Go on,
which
then.
is one we know and we say a lot of, or you say a lot of, but I'm going to repeat it anyway because I think it's so important. And this is actually one that comes from our friend Debbie. If you've been watching our series at the moment.
It was on my list and I crossed it off.
Did you cross it off, did you? Why did you cross it off? Debbie would be so angry. Now, our friend Debbie, if you're watching our videos that are in North Carolina at the moment, it was a tip that she had, because she loves Disney, to split you down to 3. And then you can still obviously get lots done, but you also have that downtime as well. So,
in the middle.
Yeah, so split that down to 3. So whether it be like park, in the middle of it pool, and then go back out to a park, or you might want to do shopping, or you know what I mean, so yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do, and please go and find us on Instagram as well. We'll leave all the links down below. Right, should we start with number 1? These are in no particular order. Some of these we've learnt because we've made mistakes, which is this very first one, which we always talk about. If you want to go for a meal, a sit-down meal in Disney, you need to make a dining reservation first, especially if it's a super popular one.
Yes.
They get
you're talking about the ones you need to make the reservations for, like you said.
They're called an ADR,
yeah.
Advanced Dining Reservation.
Yeah, our first trip just walked up to Crystal Palace and just thought we'd be able to get a table, or at least have a time we could come back for, but no.
So, I mean, sometimes you can be lucky. Don't be put off. If you haven't got a reservation, do go and ask at the podium when you walk in, because it could be there's cancellations. Sometimes they do have wait lists, so don't let that put you off.
I think having the app now as well makes it, well, the app, it makes it easier because you can actually book on there, of course, as well. So that makes life easier. So,
but yeah, you need to book in advance. It used to be 6 months. It's 60 days now. And they literally go on the minute. So I won't tell you what time, because it varies different times of the year with the change of times. So I won't say the time, because obviously if you watch this after the spring, the times could have well changed. So Google it and find out. I
think also, if you don't get it when you happen to do your reservation, go back and check, because you could be lucky. So
yeah, people make cancellations all the time. You can also go onto different websites, places like Mouse Dining, and there's other ones as well, and you can set up alerts. That's how we've got some of our best dining reservations. The one in March, Storybook Dining, that we really
tried to get that. We did, but
yeah, that was from an alert. It's free. You can set it up, and they email you when somebody makes a cancellation and one becomes available, but you've got to be there almost straight away. It was just luck. I think you can pay extra with some of them, so you can be text. I don't know whether international numbers are taken.
I don't know.
But we've just got the free one, which is email, and we've had a few bookings from that. So yeah, be on the ball with your dining reservations.
To touch on dining reservations, it's also like a little just tip to be aware of, is if you do have a reservation, you will obviously have a time that you have to be there for. That can obviously dictate what you do in your day as well. So bear that in mind as well, that if you have a reservation, is just think about what else you may well do in that day as well. Because we've had it before, haven't we, when it's been like a particular time, and we thought, well, we can't really do that, we can't really do that, but that's going to take up all this time, and it almost feels like it could take a big part of your day.
You can cancel though.
Yes.
So even if you grab one and you're not 100%, you can cancel up till the day before. Right, let's go on to the next one.
Okay.
Car park charges.
Yes.
We're going to talk about paying for parking at Disney.
And we're talking about the parks here.
Yes.
Talking about the parks.
The resorts now, if you're staying on site at Disney, you don't have to pay to park. And it also means if you're staying in the resorts, if you have a Disney hotel reservation, you don't need to pay to park at the parks as well.
That's how it is as we're recording this video now. If you're watching this in the future, please obviously just check.
Yeah, just in case there's been
any
changes.
Changed, yeah.
And annual passes don't have to pay to park either. But what not everybody is aware of, if you are paying to park, if you're staying off site, once you've paid your entry for that day, that covers you for any parks and for the whole day, doesn't it?
Yeah, and also you can go back to the same park again as well.
So you could go to Magic Kingdom in the morning, go off shopping or something, and then come back to Animal Kingdom in the evening, and that car parking ticket will get you in for both.
And you will get a receipt as well, won't you? Because that's obviously what you're going to need to be able to go back in, I imagine.
We used to get really cool ones.
Yeah, we
the long
did,
ones
yeah.
with pictures.
Yeah.
I wonder what they do now.
I don't know.
I don't know either. That'd be quite nice. But also as well, parking's not cheap. What is it now? Do you know? Is it $27 or has it gone up?
Is it 27? I think it's 20. Well, it was 27 when we were there.
Oh yeah, has it gone up again then?
I don't know, but
allow that when you're doing your budget for your trip. That's so important. We used to do that. I'd write out the itinerary, work out how many days we had to pay to park. We always used to stay off site in our early days, and I actually used to keep that cash in an envelope, didn't I? And then each day we went to the park, we would take the money from the envelope, and that, so it didn't come out of our daily spending budget.
I think back then, what was it, maybe $15 or $20?
$12.
But I still remember us having to save $200, $250 or put that aside.
Yeah,
so if
definitely.
we'd taken cash with us, there was an envelope there that was purely for
I used to have all the
parking.
envelopes, kids money, car park money, budget money. But let us know. I'd love to know from some of you that have been going for years, what's the cheapest that you've paid to park? How many years ago was that? I'd love to know. That'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? But yeah, 2007, our first trip, it was $12 a day to park. That's really gone up, hasn't it? Right, next one. This is our favourite tip, and a lot of people, some people that have even been for a few trips aren't aware of this one.
It's visiting the resorts. It may not be for everyone, but we love it. And there's a lot of people that we've actually spoken to, and I think also your family included.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
When we said about doing the resorts,
they all thought we were so boring. Why would you want to go around a hotel?
Yeah, they're very much, want to be in the park. But then after, not say doing it our way, but then visiting some of the resorts, they understood why. And again, it's not going to be for everyone, but it is a great way just to, have a break, go and see somewhere different food. And also maybe think somewhere you might want to stay.
So basically, if you're not staying on site at Disney, you're still allowed to go and visit the resorts. The Disney World transportation is free as well. So you can hop on a bus, hop on a boat, hop on a monorail and go and visit a resort.
Yeah.
Have a wander around, eat the food, you can go shopping. You can't obviously use the pool. You can't also, you're not supposed to drive in either. Obviously it's just people staying or with a dining reservation that can park there, but you can use the transportation. Or even park up at Disney Springs, which is free to park, and then hop on a bus from there.
Or a boat. You think
resorts are amazing, aren't they?
You think of Disney Springs, where you could get to even just directly from there. You could walk to Saratoga. Yeah. You could then get the boat to Port Orleans. Yeah. Riverside, French Quarter, Old Key West as well. So even just Disney Springs, they're the ones you could even visit, and we love it. We love going to the resorts.
Really. But like Ade said as well, it gives you ideas of places where you want to stay as well, get a feel for the place. Yeah,
I think it just encapsulates that whole Disney bubble. It isn't just the parks, it's the whole everything. And for us, it's just as important as the parks, I think.
It's a good way to have some downtime as well. Next one we were going to go to, which kind of nicely leads on, are the refillable mugs. They've just gone up as we speak to $23.99, haven't they?
Is that then plus tax?
Yes, plus tax. We really like the refillable mugs. You can't use them inside the parks, but you can use them in the resorts. So great if you're staying in the resorts. refill them, take them with you. We wash them up. We keep them in a big IKEA Ziploc bags. They're really light to carry around when they're empty. They're not like sealable, so you can't put them filled in your bag.
Yeah, they will leak. I mean, you could have them stood up, but yeah, they will still leak.
Actually, when we went with the family, Berwick, my nephew's friend, he clipped his to his rucksack, didn't he? So it hung. But then we were leaving so we'd refill our drinks in the morning, take them on the bus, and then obviously put them in our bag empty, but then we might go to a resort for lunch or in the evening, and then you've got them with you. And you can fill them up.
I've got a question about this then. So refillable mugs, you obviously buy them only at resorts.
Yes.
And you can refill them at resorts.
Yes.
Do you have to be staying at a resort?
I was told you used to be, because they used to scan your magic band.
Yeah.
But we've been told that you no longer have to be.
That's what I was going to ask, because...
Yeah. We watched somebody's, I think, was it Sophie and Ryan's?
It might have been, yeah.
Was it theirs? Or was it Hannah?
And Andy, I'm not sure, but I know we always used to, because it was probably our first visit we did on site, and we stayed at Beach Club.
They scanned your magic, so they also knew how long you were staying. Yeah.
So they programmed it for, okay, well, that stay for us was 5 nights or 6 nights or something like that, and then so it would expire. They've got little microchips on the bottom, and so. Yeah, but now I think they don't actually check anything, because we could actually go and pay cash and use one. We've done that.
They haven't scanned a magic bag. The other thing is as well, I think they automatically do them for 2 weeks, but when we were with the family, we were doing 1 week at Disney and then 2 weeks in the villa, and I actually asked could they all be covered for the 21 days please, and they changed it.
There wasn't a problem at all.
Yeah, not a problem at all. Right, the next one, these two tie in together.
I'm trying to think which ones they are.
It's this one and this one.
Oh, okay, I don't know which they are, I can't see them.
So, always allow plenty of time when you're in Disneyworld. Everything takes a long time. Well, it can do. Sometimes you're lucky with buses and things. But if you are going out to the park in the morning and you're leaving on Disney transportation, make sure you allow plenty of time.
Yeah, and actually that's a very good point, because sometimes it could be there's a lot more people now are not hiring cars, or
it's so pricey.
Or if they're doing a split visit, they're doing say some time on site and then some off, so they won't have a car for the first part to save some money. So yeah, just allow yourself plenty of time, especially in the mornings, and especially the resorts where there is just the one. Does it really make a difference with the ones? I was saying that because Old Key West was generally.
Yeah. That was always fine, but some resorts just seem busier than the others, and also sometimes it could be you've just missed a bus and then you've got to wait sort of 20 minutes for another one.
Yeah.
So allow plenty of time. It just makes
there's a massive queue. Beach Club was one, and I think if we waited, there would have been 3 or 4 bus loads before us.
I think the Skyliner as well. That can take a while if you're unlucky, but just allow plenty of time. Then that way there's no big stress.
Yeah.
But that also reminds me, if you've got a dining reservation as well, allow plenty of time for that. But if you're...
would you say generally that you would say, not say it's always busier, but would you say generally definitely park opening is often
you've got
busier
more
because
volume of
it's
people
that
arriving
people
at the
wanting
same time.
to get in, isn't it?
Yeah.
They do, I think, put more buses on, don't they?
Well, not all the time though.
No?
You think of Beach Club.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's the busiest that we've known it, trying to get a bus. That takes us on to, if you're wanting to get to the parks for park opening, not only allow plenty of time. I just realised we're filming this and we've just put the washing machine on. We set the timer, didn't you, to see if it would work?
And that was an hour.
That was really... Do you want to stop? Are we able to stop that? It worked. We thought we'd try the washing machine timer for the first time. I don't want that in the background whilst we're chatting. Does it stop? Thank you.
What's that to put on afterwards?
At least we know the timer works.
Yes. Sorry, so where's you got to?
Right, sorry. These are always live, but live, not live, so you never know what will happen. Yes, so if you want to get to the park for park opening, make sure you allow plenty of time, but also allow yourself to get there early, because there can be big queues going in. Obviously, you have to clear security first, then you're going through the line to scan your magic bands or scan your tickets to get in, so there's a bit of a queue. And also they do tend to let you in a little bit early, so you can wander in the shops on like main street or
yeah.
studios?
So basically, there's not a big mass of people. I think that biggest change was since they added security, wasn't it? Because you would used to have big queues outside, whereas now it kind of you're almost like you filter people through. One thing I was going to say, and I don't know if you were about to say this, but it relates to actually arriving in plenty of time, and the biggest one I would say that's worth mentioning, definitely for new timers or first timers, should I say, is Magic Kingdom. If you are, say, driving in, you obviously drive to the TTC, the Ticket and Transportation Centre. You then need to get the monorail or the ferry that then takes you to the park.
Yeah, it takes a while.
So from parking the car, give yourself a decent, I mean, how long would you say? It depends how busy it is, doesn't it? So it's all relative. I'd say at least allow yourself, what, half an hour?
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
Just to get from the car, enough time to walk to the monorail, on a monorail, or you have to wait for a couple, and then to get in. So remember that, when you're parking up, you're not parking just to walk straight into the park.
But if you're getting the bus from a resort, that takes you straight to the entrance.
Yes.
So that is quicker.
So that's a tip. If you are on site, if you get the bus, it'll take you straight to the front.
Yeah, that is a lot easier, isn't it? Yeah. But also as well, if you're staying on site, you get the half an hour early. Don't just get there the half an hour early, because by the time you've cleared security, tickets and all that, you've used up more or less.
That'll probably be your half an hour.
Yeah. So get there nice and early, and also be aware that during that half an hour when you can go in early, not all the rides are open, are they?
No.
So do check to see what is open. Like in Magic Kingdom, it's just like the Fantasyland and Tomorrowland area. Anywhere beyond, like you can wait at Tangled.
They would almost have rope up there, wouldn't they?
Rapunzel's Tower, yeah, exactly. And you can't get through. Is Adventureland open? I think that one might be.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Let us know if Adventure. Because we've always done Fantasyland, but like Big Thunder's not.
No.
So obviously Haunted Mansion isn't.
No.
Splash wasn't, but then Splash isn't open at the moment anyway. So yeah, I'm not sure about Adventureland. Not sure. Let us know if that one is.
What have we got next on the list?
Actually, while we're talking about that one, I've got another one for when you're entering. This one's a good one.
Well, kind of entering.
Yeah. When you're going into the park in the morning and it's really, really busy, you've got all the photographers there to take your photos when you're all happy and you're going in, but it's always so busy, isn't it?
Yep, there's often queues, there's a lot of people around.
You've got always people in the background. You're trying to wait and get your perfect photo, aren't you? So we found it's better to do it on the way out.
If you remember.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
I think one of the best ones for that is Hollywood Studios. The amount of
that's
times
the one that came to my mind.
we've left and there's been a photographer there and we thought, yeah, we'll get a photo, and it's empty behind.
Yep.
Because there's not many people going in. And it is perfect. So yeah, just remember, if you don't get that one on the way in, it sometimes can be better when you're leaving.
And the photographers are there as well. And that was something else I was going to mention. Not everyone is aware that in Disney, they're more than happy to take your phone or your camera and take your photo for you. They're really friendly like that, aren't they?
They are, yeah. So.
Yeah, so don't be afraid to sort of say, can you take a photo of us, please? And just hand them over your phone. Right. This one's a good one, actually.
Okay.
I'll let you do that one if you want.
So you've got down here big hitters first, then coffee. I think what you're meaning by that is the fact of if you go in and if you see there's a queue time for a ride that is really quite low, and that may sound kind of common sense, but if you want to ride that ride, go and ride it. We've done it before. We've gone into the park and we've grabbed ourselves a coffee first, and then we've seen that queue go up. That probably people think we're daft to do that, and that sounds like common sense. But yeah, if you see that, do it. You can always grab a coffee afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. Like Hollywood Studios, go and do your Slinky, go and do your Mickey's Railroad or your Terra. Yeah, exactly. If you're in Magic Kingdom, do Big Thunder or do Space Mountain first. Get those done, and then stop and have.
I mean, that does sound common sense. I think we're making ourselves sound like we.
I think I think it's a good one. Do you want to?
Actually,
yeah, this one's your favourite tip.
What about that?
One of yours.
I've just seen the note there. It says lunch before lunch.
Do you like my notes?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. we from our first trips, we never really used to eat a great deal in the park, did we? We generally weren't in there a lot. But more recently, we love just like trying some snacks, some quick serves, sharing them, trying different things.
I think also we were under the illusion kind of thing with parks that it was just burger and fries.
Or
when we
chicken
used
and
to
chips.
go, yeah, people didn't use the internet. You didn't have YouTube when we first went, so you couldn't
I think
research.
it has got better though, I think.
Well, I don't know because we never used to eat really.
But
now the snacks are fun. Snacks are all part of the experience. So part of our researching for our trips are researching the snacks, and we make notes before we go, don't we?
Yeah, and this particular tip here is the fact of lunch before lunch is the fact of don't wait until it gets busy to go and start queuing up. Now, of course, there is now mobile ordering, which does really help actually.
Yeah, that's on my list here as well.
We've actually really come to love mobile ordering. Is it Cosmic Rays? Is it Cosmic Rays?
Yeah.
Where we've been wandering around. Oh, we're ready. Oh, we're on our way. Yep, we're coming now. And then it'll be more or less ready for us to pick up.
So mobile ordering, by the way, you can order on the My Disney
on the My Disney experience
app. Yeah, it's really easy. You link up your card, and you can just pay. Let them know when you're on your way, and then you just go in and collect. It's like skipping the queue, isn't it?
And it was like virtual queue, isn't it? Really,
it is actually.
But I'd actually say the lunch before lunch, even if you are going to mobile order, because obviously it's going to be busier still.
And also somewhere to sit.
Yeah, and somewhere to sit. So I know not everyone really wants to eat sort of maybe 11:30. But if you've been in the park from it opening, sometimes you wanted to eat early.
Actually.
So for us, we've actually done that quite a few times, and it's worked out really, really well. Again, that's personal preference, personal choice, but it works for us, and it does really avoid those queues. So of course, you'd much rather be stood in a queue for a ride than a queue to get your food.
Definitely. The other thing as well, actually, with regards to like eating at the parks, we take in our own drinks. You can take your refillable water bottles. There's lots of stations now where you can refill them, but also you can go into the quick serves like the takeaways and ask for free water. In many of them, to be honest, they've got trays and trays of iced water cups, so you can go up and they will just hand them over to you. But we've done them, popped them in our refillable, so they're nice and cold, aren't they? They've got the ice.
Yeah, and I think the park in general has started to become better in regards to the water bottle stations as well.
Yeah, 'cause it used to just be the fountains.
The first time I saw that was in Galaxy's Edge, an actual refillable water. But now you're starting to see them. I've seen them in Epcot. I'm trying to think where else I've seen them as well. I'm sure they're in every park. But the places where you can actually fill up your refillable water bottles as well, rather than just the water fountains.
Yeah. And you are allowed to take your snacks and food into the parks. So especially when the kids were younger, we would take like bagels, crisps, things like that. You're allowed to take
cereal bars.
You're allowed to take your own bits and pieces. So for a lot of people, that can be a really good way to save, can't it? We used to take like sweets for the queues to try and keep the kids sort of like a bit occupied. Things like that help. And we would always buy them. Like I'd go to Poundland and places like that and buy little snacks and then sort of get them out in the queues. It would be a little bit exciting for them, and it's a lot cheaper than buying them in the parks as well.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of other people that do that as well.
The drinks as well in parks are so expensive. They're like, by the time you've paid for tax, they're like $5.
Yeah, if not more. Now,
The fountain drinks were $3.99 plus tax, weren't they? But the bottles were $5, and that's for water as well. It's really expensive. So being able to either take your own drinks or get the free water in the parks, and some people buy the little pouches, don't they?
Yeah, to add in like the squash. Yeah.
So there's definitely ways around it, and that if you're a family and you want drinks, that's a lot of money every day.
It can work out expensive as well, and also in that heat as well, you don't always be wanting to be drinking fountain drinks time. It is nice though. We've done it before when we've stopped and had like. It does always make me think of Cosmic Rays because we do love the chicken and chips there, but an ice cold Coke as well is just so nice.
It is. Sometimes you need it to pick you up, and that's the fountain drinks. So the soda drinks are a little bit cheaper than going into the shops and buying the bottles, aren't they? Right. The other thing, actually, while we're talking about drinks, if we talk about like the weather and the heat, we try and alternate between like rides, don't we? And attractions. So we might like get in a queue for a ride, But then, especially when it starts to get warm, that's when it's really good to take a bit of an aircon break and
whether it be a shop or
a sit-down attraction.
Yeah.
Like Fill Our Magic or Country Bears.
Well, not Country Bear at the moment.
I know, I thought of that when I said it. Or the Tiki Room.
Yes.
There's so many different places, aren't there? Sort of the shows as well. The Lion King show in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, so there's always those. There's still some we haven't done.
I know, actually. That's so true. Yeah, and all the parks have them.
Yep.
We still haven't done the Frozen sing-along. But you're right, actually. But yeah, so try and alternate it. It really helps.
I think also another point to add there is we tend to used to have like a bit of an agreement on how long we would, as a family, be happy to queue for.
That's true, actually.
So I think related to that, if you've been stood in a queue for some time, to then just go straight into another queue to possibly queue the same amount of time.
Kids.
Breaking up with a show, if you then go into a queue after that, at least it's kind of like broken the day up a little bit.
And I have to say, I have fallen asleep in many a show. The Muppets, One Man's Dream, as much as I love that, sometimes a 5 or 10 minute snooze in the aircon can really pick you up. It really recharges your batteries.
It does, yeah.
It really does. Don't be afraid. I think there's lots of us that have done that. Hands up. All of you that have had a snooze in the park.
Yes.
It does help, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
You feel so much better for it, but your kids need it as well when it's really hot and they've been up early and they're on their feet. It's doing parks is tiring, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and I think that is one of the biggest things. Depending on what time of year you go, I mean, Florida is generally warmer than what it would be if you say coming from the UK.
Yeah.
So please bear that in mind. It can be quite hard going, and also listen to everyone. If it looks like someone is struggling, don't try and keep pushing it.
We've cut many of our days short because one of us has had enough. And it affects the whole group of you then, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it can affect the following day.
That's true. We would much rather, like we've done it in Hollywood Studios before, everyone was feeling tired. And that's when you start niggling at each other as well. We didn't want unhappy children. You're there for this amazing holiday. You don't want people in your family or your group being upset. We've cut the day short, gone off, we did IHOP one time. We were supposed to stay and watch the fireworks at Hollywood Studios and we went off and had pancakes, didn't we?
Okay, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
And everyone was happy and then we just got up and had a fresh day the next day. Sometimes you need it, don't you?
You do, yeah.
You're all about pacing yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, I think also that means you're there to enjoy yourself. And I think it's just a case of you do what you can. You may not get everything done, so just enjoy what you can enjoy.
That's very true. Weather.
Be prepared.
For anything.
For anything. We said about being hot, but also certain times it can actually be quite cold as well.
Yeah, we've had to de-ice the car before, haven't we? In January, so it's not always hot and sunny.
That's not the only time it's been cold as well. When we did one of our first trips.
February trip. That was February half term.
It was one of the coldest Februaries. I thought it was at 2010. So yeah, just be prepared. But on the other scale, it can get very hot. The rain. There are certain times of the year when it is known to rain a lot, which is kind of like your August, September, sort of October time. Can be stormy. We
always take ponchos with us, but the weather apps are really good over there, aren't they? Because which one do you use?
Well, I always used to use the is
it AccuWeather?
I think AccuWeather, but I've been tending to use the Apple one a lot more, and also just whatever's there. So, but the Apple one seems to have actually improved. It seems to be given a lot more. Definitely the latest OS update. It seems to be a lot better.
So yeah, keep an eye on that. If you see that there's rain coming in the afternoon, pop your ponchos in your bag.
And also maybe have a plan B.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if it does come down, although when it's done, it tends to clear and the brilliant blue sky and sun comes out again, just be aware that how that could actually change your plans for that day.
And the rain can really come down, can't it?
It can, yeah.
It's not like the rain in the UK at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Where are we at?
Do you want to talk shopping? We haven't spoke much about shopping.
We're talking about in parks here or shopping in general?
In parks, we're all Disney, aren't we, today?
Shopping in parks, something I always say to Lisa, because she's the worst of this. If there's something you see and you like it, get it. You can always return it at any of the Disney stores, whether it be in a resort, in a park. you can return it.
Yeah, so if you buy something in a park, you change your mind, you can return it to a resort or Disney Springs.
Or another park.
Yeah.
We've done that on a few occasions, haven't we? But then we've also done it the other way round, so I really love that.
That's what I'm really bad for.
And then you've gone back for it and you can't find it. It's sold out. That happened to us in Disneyland Paris as well, didn't it? We saw some lovely glasses. Luckily, we managed to get some, but they literally almost all sold out, didn't they?
Or the other thing is, I'm really bad at thinking, oh, I'll get that later, and then I forget about it. So if you see something, buy it, and you can always take it back.
Yeah.
The kids and spending money, I think, is a good one as well.
We have found, I think was it our second trip onwards where they had, when I say they had their own money, it was money that were either maybe birthdays or Christmas or grandparents or chores or things like that.
Chores?
Yeah, I didn't get much money from that, did they?
No.
But it's things having their own money. Louis would be, and I'm sure like lots of other kids would, like everything. But then when it's their own money, they may think twice about it. And you say, well, look, you've got this. If you do this...
If you buy that great big Lego set on the first day of your holiday, you've got no spending money
for the rest of your trip.
Yeah.
And they do then start to maybe think twice about it. So
I think it's also really good for them having their own money, learning a different currency, and then having to work out the change and all that kind of thing. It's been part of the enjoyable experience of our trips with our kids, hasn't it? But they don't then keep pestering when you're in souvenir shops, gift shops. They don't keep pestering because they know that what they've got is what they've got.
And to be honest, most of the money they've got is the money that has come from us or parents or grandparents or things like that.
But it has really helped.
But it has really helped because it does. Of course, there are going to be times when, there's treats and you get things. Not saying they buy everything, but we're talking about gifts that they want to buy themselves.
The little soft toy or the turkey leg cap.
Because none of us can have everything, can they?
The bongo drum that Holly
bought and then never used, but she still wanted it, so she used her money for it.
Yeah, they've bought some funny things over the years, haven't they?
As you know, that there are fireworks and different shows on
in the
evenings. Magic Kingdom is probably the one that comes to mind the most. Check the times, definitely during particular seasons.
Mainly the
Halloween time, because when you've got Mickey's Not So Scary on,
I suppose Christmas one as well.
And Christmas as well,
that's true.
You will find that the normal shows and fireworks are not on every single night. So just check those nights. Again, it could also mean that you change your park days if you want to see the non-seasonal fireworks and parades, etc. is to check when they're on.
Because for the party evenings you have to have a separate ticket, so the park will actually close. So if you've bought your ticket for the day or you've rocked up for the day, the park on those event nights will close at 6 o'clock, and you can only get onto the rides if you've got a wristband on. So obviously if you've then gone thinking you'll go there all day and catch the fireworks, you won't be able to get on anything after 6.
And I think when that first started happening, when we went many years ago, there weren't as many like Halloween nights, whereas now it seems to be there's more Halloween nights than there are normal nights there.
And they start earlier as well. They start sort of earlier on in August now, don't they?
So just check that out.
Yeah, just be aware. Make it part of your plans. The other thing is as well, if you're new to the parks, leaving Magic Kingdom in particular, after fireworks it gets busy, so be prepared, especially again if you've got children. Make sure you've got snacks with you, make sure you've got a drink. We've been waiting in the heat after the fireworks for that monorail for a long time, haven't we?
Long
and it's
time,
hot and stuffy, you've got screaming
everyone's
kids.
Tired.
Yeah, I was going to say everyone's tired, everyone's had enough, so just be prepared for that. Sometimes you can be waiting quite a while, so some people do sneak out of the fireworks a little bit earlier to get a head start, don't they?
Yeah, I don't think we have we?
No, either that or we stay a little bit later, try and sort of linger a little bit.
Yes.
Or pop to, I was going to say pop to a resort, but then the monorail's really busy anyway, isn't it?
I was actually going to say, it's even if you stay in a resort, it still can be busy.
Quieter.
Buses can be, and that's also another option if you want to get back to somewhere else.
Depends where you've parked your car, obviously, as well. But yeah, just take that into consideration. Also, if you are wanting to watch the fireworks but you're not fancying the crowds in Magic Kingdom, you can watch them from other places, can't you?
Yeah, it's very good.
We've watched them from the Contemporary Resort. There's like a little balcony area outside, or the Bay Lake Bridge. You can watch them from, and other places as well. They pipe in the music, so you can hear it there, don't they?
I was also going to say with the Contemporary as well, it could be that you are or were in Magic Kingdom, and you've obviously still got to make your way back out again, but you can actually walk out and
walk to the
Contemporary and to go and to see them. But then if you're already in there, you'd probably just stay there anyway, wouldn't you?
Depends if you don't like the crowds.
Yeah, very true.
It's not for
very
everybody. The Polynesian is a really good one to watch the fireworks.
Some restaurants are very good as well. If you've got a reservation that, for example, the California Grill at the top of the Contemporary, that can be a very good place as well.
Or Ohana.
Ohana, another one.
They pipe in the music again, but you can watch them from the beach at the Polynesian. We've watched them from the Grand Floridian. We've even watched them from Wilderness Lodge, actually.
We have,
Some places you can see them from there.
Yeah.
And the other thing is as well, you don't have to be in front of the castle. Obviously you get the projections, but there's other ways. We don't always like the crowds, so we've watched them from behind in Fantasyland. We've watched them from Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah, behind the castle's been quite cool, actually.
Yeah, and it's nice and quiet, and you've got all the music. Or I know Mummy of Four does Disney. She's spoken about it before. She's got children with autism that she speaks quite openly about, and they've actually gone into cosmic rays. So they haven't got the loud noise of the fireworks.
But we can still see them.
See them, and you're in like a quick serve restaurant.
Yeah.
So there's lots and lots of ways to do it. I think that's the good thing with Disney. It can suit absolutely everyone. There is a way to do something to suit everyone.
Yeah.
Isn't there?
No, most definitely. I mean, is that the last one we've kind of got on there?
So. Yeah.
The only other one we got on here, the last tip as well.
About that one.
And it's in the parks. You will obviously be able to meet the characters, but one way to make sure you do see those characters, because those queues can be quite long in the parks.
Yeah, some of them.
You can also be really lucky as well. We've done it before, where we've literally been walking around the park and there's a character been there, or in the resorts.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
But the character dining is a great way to be able to see the characters. When there was the dining plan, and I believe is the dining plan
coming back?
Is it coming back? Dining plan. We did that in 2017, and we booked ourselves in various different sort of restaurants, and there were character meals, and it was a great way to be able to meet the characters, because they'll come round as you're eating.
When you've got kids, it's a much easier way to do it,
than stood in a queue for a very long time sometimes.
We've done Crystal Palace, we've done Tusker House,
Hollywood and Vine.
Hollywood and Vine and Hollywood Studios. That was such a good one.
Hollywood and Vine was a great one. We were almost one of the last sit-ins, weren't we?
Yeah.
And was there Donald, Daisy?
Everyone was just
hanging
Pluto? Out. Yeah.
And Goofy?
It was everyone but Mickey. Everyone but Mickey.
Yeah, because Minnie was there.
Yeah.
But because it's starting to get a bit quieter, they were just milling around, weren't they?
Yeah, just hung out with everyone. It was really nice. We've had some really good character meals, haven't we? I think that's it. Yeah, we've done Garden Grill as well. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, we should do some more.
I have to say though, the one that we did in March, Storybook, was probably one of the best, I think.
Yeah, that was really good. We've done Crystal Palace, dinner and breakfast. We've done those a few times, haven't we? Yeah, we do like them.
Yeah.
But we really hope you've enjoyed this video today.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a list of everything, but just some things that we found useful, we've picked up, we've learnt from other people,
we've
learnt by mistake.
Things, did we?
Yeah, we've learnt from our own mistakes. So we hope it's helped. So whether you're a first timer, people that have been before, we just hope that some of these bits might make your trip a little bit more enjoyable.
You're spending a lot of money on these trips. You've saved a long time. You want to try and make them as perfect as possible, and sometimes these little things can really make a big difference, can't they? Yeah,
and as we said at the start, if there's anything that you do or have a tip of, please leave it in the comments below.
We'd love to hear.
Because we'd love to hear, but also love to share as well, because that's the way we all hopefully have a nicer time as well.
Sharing is caring.
Exactly, yes.
Well, Thank you very much. We hope you've enjoyed that. Let us know if there's any other videos like this that you'd like us to do. We'd love to hear from you, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I think one of the other ones we are going to do is going to be a DVC video.
A chatty one.
A chatty one.
Lots of questions about that.
So that is probably, when we do the DVC one, going off track a little bit, is more going to be not the complete ins and outs, but just a general sort of try and keep it simple, try and explain how it works and stuff like that.
Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you next weekend in the next video.
Yeah.
Oh, and we've still got our road trip videos going on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock. So keep an eye out for those. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.